Okay, so this time I tried the addition of a flux, and the flux that I used was salt. Well, potassium salt, not salt. Supposedly, this will help the metal flow better, and well, we'll see, I guess. Anyways, the metal looks cleaner, even though this is a really dirty metal that I melted. These are screws that I melted, and the screws are coated with years and years of corrosion and crap. So, in spite of that, it looks better already. Now, that said, this is what we're casting today. We're casting this, and it's just a little emblem my buddy made me. This is graphite. Makes it nice and easy to cast. Stuff doesn't like to stick to it. So that's what I've casted, and it's got some details on it, so just going to see if it did better than has in the past. And right off the bat, we've got a lot of steam, so we're going to have to be very careful so that we don't steam ourselves. See the steam coming off of the flask. So we're just going to pop it loose. And it's very, very, very hot, very red hot in there still, which is a good sign. At least I expect it to be a good sign. So with the purest of intentions, not to burn ourselves, I'm going to break it loose into my plastic bucket. The bucket is full of sand, so I'm not super concerned about it, but still, it seems a little silly if you think about it. And we have our hex shape very, very nicely laid out, so we're just going to let that sit there while I take care of my sand. The less moisture I let evaporate out of the sand, the better it is. Or at least so far, that has been my experience. It's pretty hot, but it doesn't seem melting hot. So let me cover my sand so I don't lose my moisture. And then we'll get a brush, a wire brush that was sitting down here, but is now not very mysteriously missing. And let's see here. There it is. Alright, so here's our wire brush. And it is extremely hot still. But I could just make out the details of my little emblem. Can't tell how clear they are though. Probably not very. I'm not expecting a whole lot. I was more aiming for the shape. But I could see some of it. And it came out relatively crisp. I suppose if the emblem was more pronounced, which I can do that because I have a more pronounced piece, it might have casted better. Now I did a single sprue cast, meaning there's only one hole, but I don't know. There it is. I could see the B anyway. And the cast iron gets very hot, but cast iron is not a good, it doesn't conduct heat very well, so even though it will stay hot for a nice long time, it doesn't move it all the way to the edge of the pan. So I can actually grab it way over here and it's still relatively cool. let's take a look at our horn here, see how that turned out. That's also a good tell. Wow, it looks great. All those dirty, nasty screws, and it came out very nicely done. So I'm very pleased with this cast. This is a good recovery cast. I'm gonna have to replace my insulation though. I think it'll last a little bit longer, but it's getting worse and worse. I was actually planning on casting some aluminum tonight, but decided to put it off in favor of this. Just try this out. If nothing else, it makes a very cool looking hex. Yeah. That's alright. That looks good. So our fluxes of the night were potassium salt, and I used a baking soda to kind of create to try to dissolve any gases that might have been into the metal, since it was heavily corroded. And I'd say that my research has proven correct, because these are much prettier casts without having to do 2 melts in a row. So I'm very pleased with that. We'll see down the road how much better we can get at this. And this turned out to be a better cast too. Even though, yeah, it's not as detailed as I'd like it to be, it still turned out to be very nice, and it's a very big, heavy cast. So it's proven some things to me, and one of those things is that I need more space in my flask. These are flasks. One is called a cope and one is called a drag. And if I'm not mistaken, the cope is the bottom and the drag is the top. And what you do is you flip it over and then you load it, pack it, flip it over again, put your drag on top, load it full of sand, and your you need a sprue and a vent. You put those on top of your pattern, pack it down again, and then make your cast. And my sprue today was the impact arm from a air hammer, pneumatic hammer. But that's a good cast. I'm gonna keep it, or I'm gonna call it a good one.